Hello, 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 and welcome to Ladies Listen Up. How are you today, Mr. Cherrard?
I am doing just fine.
That is wonderful. I'm telling you, the last couple episodes, we've been having challenges getting out here.
Yes, ma'am. We sure did.
We've been pressing forward and making it happen anyway. That's what you do. You make it happen. But before we get started, as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Optimal work meaning share this information with somebody else. Today, we are going to talk about modern women and traditional men. Can they coexist? Now,
Right.
Sharad, before I start talking about courts and fields, I'm not even going to go there. I'm just going to pass the ball to your court because I got talked about on the other side. So the ball
So,
is in your court. How about that?
okay, cool. Now we're talking about modern women, traditional men, and I guess the modern woman I'm speaking of more so as probably the one that had the strong feminist ties or whatever. Because I know a lot of modern women that are in the workplace, are managers, supervisors, and things of that nature. But then I've spoken to a few, and they said when they go home, they don't want to be the supervisor, the manager. They want a guy that's going to be able to make decisions, be decisive about what it is he's doing, and lead her in the right path. But this type of woman I'm talking about, she's the one that a man will have a power struggle with.
Okay.
He wants to be the man in the
Oh,
relationship.
okay. Give us some examples. Some. Give us some more. We need some more meat about what you mean.
Okay.
She want to be the man.
See, a modern this type of modern woman sees submission as weakness. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
she sees it as a weakness, and she doesn't understand that being submissive is a very powerful position to be in, especially once you understand what being submissive is. Being submissive is very powerful in that once you realize that you have the power to take back, any power you may give someone over you, or so you think, power over you, you can take that back at any time they're abusing their authority that you've granted them. Now, submission is a two-way street too. That's another thing they don't understand. See, a man, yeah, he may be the head of the household, he may be the protector and the provider and all that. But when you in what we call, and you speak of a lot of times as a healthy relationship, a man will become submissive too. You know, now that man is no longer ripping and running the streets with the homies all day and night. Hey, I got to be at home with my wife or whatever, with my girl or whatever. He's submissive to the fact that, okay, hey, there's some things I don't know how to do, but guess what? My wife knows how to do this. She can handle this. I'm gonna follow her lead. Just because you're the leader, that don't mean you will lead all the time. You got to know when to step back and be a follower and understand when somebody's better than you. And that's what leaders do. They put people around them that's smarter than them when it comes to certain things. I don't want to be the smartest one in the room, because if I'm the smartest one in the room, that means my learning has stopped, and if my learning has stopped, my living has stopped.
That's so good. That's so good. And
You
and
know,
and I have to put this out there because folks gonna think that we had a conversation prior to. Because I have been told that be, I would not know how to submit in a relationship. And I told them that that's because they didn't know me. That's because
mm,
I project what I project because this is who I am, but they have no idea or no clue who I am when I'm in a relationship. And and so what you just described was what I've always said or defended myself with. But I mean, you just wrapped it up, man. Sometimes I come on here and I'll be ready to, spar with you, but today I don't have nothing to spar about because you're dead on. No,
no,
but that's really good. I mean, I like everything that you said.
I mean, because when I see women out doing their thing, you know, and let's be honest, some women have to be super mom, or she has to take on more of a burden, especially when it comes to children. Sometimes they have to because of the situation with the man. The man may have left, voluntarily. He may have gotten killed because of the game he played or things he was involved in, may have been locked away, or she may be playing the game with him and I don't want you to see him. She wants to be the victim and the assailant at the same time. There's different reasons why a woman has to be superwoman. And I think a lot of Black women they fall in that category of, that superwoman complex, thinking they have to be all things to everybody. And then when they finally have a man that comes in and say, yo, I can take over some of that. She doesn't want to relinquish control. She'll complain about doing all these things, but she doesn't want to relinquish control. And I guess I can understand it to a point, because once you're used to doing everything, it's second nature. Like if a woman was to come into my household right now and say, hey, I want to do such and such, I'll be like, oh, wait a minute, wait, hold on, wait.
You know what?
You trying to change some stuff.
You constantly prove my point about interrogation and about the upfront conversations, because those are some things that you have to decide what it is that you want, and then not that it's going to be easy implementing it, but if your heart is in it and you're not, like you said before, it's not 50-50, but it's, I'm gonna quote you, 100 and 100. So if it's
100,
if it's that, then yeah, it would be very challenging. Let me give you an example. It was really, really challenging when a couple of my actually girlfriend associates, we started checking in with one another, and that was really challenging for me at first, because I have been single for so long. So it felt like restrictive, but I had to really realize that we were looking out for one another, and it wasn't about not even dumbing down, but shrinking. It wasn't about shrinking or somebody else having control over you. It was just the fact that it's good to have somebody to have checks and balances with you, for you to be able to check in with. So I do get what you're saying about but again, I think it goes back to wanting to be in a healthy place and wanting to be in a healthy relationship, and understanding that you bring your stuff with you when you come. So whatever, like you said, and then also, it's some things that we may not know. And it's a good thing when you come together with a partner or join together with a partner that's in a healthy place, that's not abusive, then you can learn how to be more submit to that person, because know that person, where it's coming from. It's not any malice or anything that's going to harm you. It's not harmful to you, but it's actually a help for you.
Right.
So our title was Modern Women and Traditional Men, Can They Coexist? So give me a little bit more of a flavor about the coexisting with the modern woman and the traditional man, because I think you just laid it out that you're talking about the rah, rah, rah type of modern woman.
The toxic feminist, she's the one that, she'll say things like, she needs a man to, provide, to be the 100% provider of the house, like my grandfather used to. But see, these kind of women, they want a traditional man to do some of the traditional things, but they want to pick and choose which one of those traditional things that they are allowed to do. And then on top of that, they're not going to be like the traditional woman of that time, that got those things provided for, and the thing is, all the while she's craving that traditional man to do all those traditional things, it's like she wants to be the dominant one in the relationship. Now, and I'm speaking of the toxic feminist, the toxic modern woman, because like I said, I do know a lot of women now that really play well with their mates. You know what I'm saying? As far as they have a nice cohesiveness together, and still have that modern flair of owning their own business, degrees, and the whole 9 yards. That doesn't play into their relationship as far as how they mingle with one another on a relationship level.